What is up guys, this is Zypha here, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see, we are finally doing the long awaited Q&A, which I've been wanting to do since 3 months ago when I actually hit my 100 subscriber milestone. I'm really thankful to everyone who subscribed. Thank you so much for getting me to 100 subscribers, even though all the people that came and subbed to me to get me to 100, take in mind it was about 20 to 30 people who came from a poll. They've probably all gone inactive now, so I mean, what was I expecting? They came from a poll, for fuck's sake. But thanks to everyone who has got me to 100. I'm obviously at 120 odd right now. I don't want to give a precise number because it does sort of go up and down every so often, but I just want to quickly say, yeah, you might have noticed the background gameplay. Yes, I have finally got Vanguard. I was hoping to get it at Christmas and I didn't, so I ended up getting it just yesterday as I'm recording this, so I got it on the 28th of December. But yeah, that's great because that now means I should have plenty of good Vanguard content on the way, so look forward to that, guys. And I just want to make one more disclaimer before we get into the actual Q&A. I just want to say that I didn't get a lot of questions for this Q&A, so please don't laugh that I only got like 9 questions. 6 people participated altogether, so it wasn't the best. Obviously last year I got way more people involved in it and I got a lot more questions, and I think it's purely just because of the amount of breaks I've been taking, the fact that I'm pretty inactive with posting on this channel, that a lot of people just aren't active, or a lot of people just didn't notice I've been, you know, announcing a Q&A, and for that reason I probably won't do another one until probably far in the future when I've actually gathered, you know, a pretty reasonable sized audience. So just thought I'd put that out there. But to everyone who did leave a question, thank you so much. We're going to finally get into it without further waffling. So yeah, the first one comes from Wallgamers, and he says, congrats on hitting 100 subs. My first question is, who's your inspiration who got you this far? And also, when will you do a face reveal? First of all, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So to answer your first question, it's not really an easy question to answer because I've never really had a consistent sort of channel that I've always watched since I started, because I started back in 2013 or 2014. That's when I first started YouTube. I've obviously had many channels. I set this one up in 2020, as I'm sure most of you are already aware, but it's never been consistent. I've always had sort of different people who've inspired me along the way, but I think the very first person to inspire me to do YouTube was probably Stampy Longnose when I used to watch him back in 2012. And some other examples would probably be Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and PewDiePie. I feel like they were the iconic trio. I think I've had on and offs with their content, with like watching them and whatnot, but I'm starting to watch them a lot more again now. But they were like, besides Stampy, they were probably like the main 3 who made me want to do YouTube in the first place. So yeah, I guess that answers your first question. And for the second one, when will you do a face reveal? This is probably the most juiciest question of all because everyone wants to know this, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'll probably do it like if I ever do hit this, by the way. I don't think I will, but if I ever hit probably 10k or 100k, I feel like it'll be one of those milestones where I'll do the face reveal. I was considering 1000 subs at one point, but I'm probably not going to do that anymore. I don't know. I want to kind of leave it for a while. I know it seems like, oh, I'm trying to like make a whole mystery around my identity and my face, even though I'm not that interesting. But I feel like face reveals are one of those things that if you leave them long enough, they become more interesting rather than just doing it, you know, straight away for like 500 subs or 100 subs, for example. So I'm probably going to leave it quite a while yet, but thank you for your questions. The next one comes from Quinton TV. So he left 2, but they were separate. So his first question is, are you excited for Call of Duty Vanguard? Do you think it will be better than Black Ops Cold War or even Modern Warfare? So he actually left this obviously 3 months ago, so this was before Vanguard had even dropped. But if I give my opinions on it, like from my perspective now, I would say that back then, 3 months ago, I was very excited to hear about the new title. It just seemed like such a breath of fresh air, honestly, because I'd had such a shit year with Cold War, and I was just ready for a new installment in the franchise. So yeah, to answer that part of your question, yeah, I was excited for Call of Duty Vanguard. I do really like it now as well. I completely understand why people don't like the zombies, because it isn't round based and it is pretty atrocious this year, even though I've never really got into zombies ever because it's not really my thing. I prefer the multiplayers the most. But yeah, I haven't really looked into the campaign, but I am very aware of why everyone hates zombies. But I actually really like the multiplayer this year, and yeah, it's far better in my opinion compared to Cold War multiplayer, which was just such a fucking mess and it was rushed. And I think that's all thanks to Activision for rushing rushing the game out of its development stage too soon. I think it is definitely better than Black Ops Cold War. Maybe not in terms of the zombies. Is it better than Modern Warfare though? Because Modern Warfare is also Warzone as well, if you really think about it, because Warzone dropped with Modern Warfare. So I don't think it's better than Modern Warfare. I don't think you can really beat Modern Warfare, to be honest. I think that's probably one of the best CODs in the franchise for a long time. And even though I didn't really play Modern Warfare an awful lot, especially not with the multiplayer, I really did like Warzone. And just the game overall, I think I can definitely see why so many people liked it, and I wish I'd played it more, but I did get it late, so I didn't really end up playing it a lot. I ended up going on to Cold War. But anyway, moving on to his next question, he asks, what kind of music do you listen to / what is your favorite song? So I don't think I can really put a pinpoint on what like my favorite song is right now, because it always varies, like by the day, by the week. I always sort of change my opinion, I guess, because I always find different good songs and I just can never pick one. But I can definitely tell you what kind of music I listen to. I actually listen to a lot of rap music. I think like my main playlist is about 8 or 9 hours long at the moment, and that is all hip-hop music. But then I also have another playlist where I listen to like alternative, indie, electronic, rock, which obviously has many subcategories, as you probably know, and also funk music. Yeah, I kind of have like a weird mix, and it's all kind of lumped into one playlist, which is like besides my rap playlist. So I listen to quite a few genres, but I hope that answers your question. Anyways, the next one comes from Rick, and he asks, do you plan on making Roblox content in the near future? Now, I think this was more of a piss-takey kind of question. Like, I think it was just like a silly one, just because he didn't have any of the like ideas of what to comment. He did leave a second one, which I think was a really good one. This one's just like more of a joke, so I just thought I'd answer it, but you never know, you know, might just randomly someday just sniff some glue and decide to make some fucking Roblox content. I don't know, but if we're being serious now, I've never considered making Roblox content. I won't diss on the game though. I know a lot of people give it a lot of shit for what it is, and I can totally see why it gets memed, but in all fairness, Roblox isn't a bad game, I'll be honest with you. Even though like probably 3/4 of the games on there are fucking terrible, in my opinion, you know, it's air, but I would never make content on it. His second question is, will you make scary games outside of Halloween? So I think what he means is, will I be making videos on scary games outside of Halloween? And this is something I've actually thought about quite a bit. For those who don't know, I'm actually a big horror fan. I'm literally just a fucking nerd when it comes to horror games, horror films. I think horror films are what I watch the most. I don't really play an awful lot of horror games, but I do really like horror games, and I would love to play them more often than just at Halloween. But the only reason I do play at Halloween is because that's when most people tend to play them, and that's because it's that time of year, it's spooky season. But I would really love to play them more often. You know, like people like Markiplier or Daz Games, they play horror games pretty actively, and they have a whole community who watch them for that. I mean, obviously they come for their personality, but I think that's one of the things about horror games. Unless you've got a webcam, a really good microphone, and a redeeming personality, I feel like it's not like it's gonna get you a lot of views and a lot of, like, you're not gonna get a very big audience making horror game videos, I don't think, unless you've got a really redeeming personality, like I say, which I don't think I'm that interesting. But I have definitely thought about it. I do really like scary games, and if I was to make like scary game videos, I'd probably make a second channel, because I do like making COD videos and other FPS game videos, so I'd want to keep the channel separate. But yeah, thank you for your questions. But yeah, the next one comes from Mythical. Yeah, I was a bit surprised to see him comment a question. I've never really got on with this guy too well over the years. If you don't already know, I've not been like on the best of terms with him in the past, and to be honest, I'm not a fan of his content whatsoever. I don't even watch him, but he left a question, so I might as well answer it. I mean, beggars can't be choosers. I am the one who wanted questions at the end of the day, and I hadn't got many, so I might as well just answer it. But if you had to change the type of content you make, what would it be? So I'm taking it that he means if I had to change my content from gaming to something else. I don't know really, because none of the other stuff really like caters to me. It doesn't really interest me whatsoever. Like, you know, like vlogs and beauty channels and sports and fitness and that kind of shit. It doesn't really interest me. I feel like if commentary wasn't in such a shitty place right now, where literally as soon as you make a video and it has anything that comes off as bullying, you know, where you're literally fucking arse raped by Susan and ripped off the platform, if that wasn't the case, I'd probably do commentary videos, I'll be honest, because that's the only can really think of that I've ever enjoyed in the past besides what I do now, which is gaming. But other than that, I can't really think of any other answer. Like, I don't really enjoy any other sort of category of content, to be honest. I feel like it's all mainly gaming, and if it was to ever be anything besides that, it would be probably commentary, because I really like sharing my views on stuff. But thanks for the question. The next one comes from 𝒂𝒑, or in other words, my twin brother, if you didn't already know that. He asked, what are you going to do if you don't become a YouTuber? These are good questions, by the way, guys. I like that people have put a lot of thought into these, because a lot of Q&As, people just leave really generic questions like, oh, what's your favorite food or some shit, which you can literally spring up an answer to in like the space of 10 seconds. What will I do? I don't know. I've never really given it a lot of thought. Like, I've always sort of clung onto this concept of wanting to be a YouTuber/streamer, so I've never really given it a lot of thought what I would do instead. I mean, at this point, I've not got long until I leave school. I do not plan on going to university, probably never will, because it just doesn't interest me whatsoever. It sounds like fucking hell. I'm probably gonna take a gap year, and I'm probably gonna think about it in that time. I feel like if I'm not to do YouTube or streaming, I don't think I'll ever not do it. I feel like I'll always do it on the side, but I think if I had to pick something else to do to get me an income whilst I grow my channel, it would probably be something around photography, because obviously 𝒂𝒑 knows this, but I do have quite an interest in taking photos. I feel like I would maybe do something around that, like around photography, as like a part-time job maybe, to like get some income. But I don't know, I'm just really hoping that I can turn YouTube, or even streaming if I end up doing Twitch, which I really doubt it, but I'm just really hoping I can make a living from YouTube someday, because that's what I've always wanted to do since a very young age, and I just can't think of myself doing anything else and being happy, to be honest. Like, this is what I enjoy doing the most, even if it doesn't look like it, even though I don't post very much, and it doesn't look very persuasive, does it, that I'm really enjoying what I do? But I honestly do. I just don't post a lot because I get very demotivated and just out of ideas, I suppose, for content. But yeah, it's a very good question to think about. I don't know. I hope that answers it, but it's quite complex to think about really at my current stage. I don't really know for sure what I would want to do, like, instead, but that's probably the best answer I can give. And the final question comes from Kirs. I did tell you guys that there wasn't a lot of questions, but yeah, the last question comes from Kirs, and he asked, will we ever see Siege Zypha return? I don't know. I don't think he probably will, to be honest, like, ever. I don't think I'll ever play Siege again on my channel, and I'm sorry if that annoys some people. I know a lot of my audience was built up from Siege content, but I don't think I'll ever return to Siege. I mean, I've played it a few times since I stopped playing. Like, I've been on once or twice, and it's just not the same anymore. It doesn't really hit the same. The game's just kind of not fun anymore to me, and I don't really like the whole tactical concept. I used to be a big fan of how tactical it was, whilst now I'm just not interested really anymore. I kind of just prefer stuff like COD, which are more like fast-paced. So yeah, I don't think I ever will, but I mean, I've always wondered if the game will ever get good again, or it ever appeals to me again. I might just go back to it, but I don't think I will. But thanks for the question. So yeah, those were all the questions. Thank you to everyone who left one. I really do appreciate it. Obviously, like I say, we only got like about 8 or 9, so yeah, that's probably a good reason for me to just not do another one until I've actually got a decent sized audience. I think this will probably be the last video of 2021, which is really weird to think about, because this year went so fast, even though it didn't feel like it, like, as it was happening. Looking back on it now, it went so fast, and so did 2020, to be honest. And I'm just hoping, if this is the last video of this year, I just want to say to everyone, thank you for supporting me over the course of the 12 months. Thank you to anyone who's, you know, sort of stuck by me and helped me out and got my channel to where it is today. I really do appreciate it. And I'm hoping for next year, 2022, that I will hopefully make a better effort to post content, and I'm hoping it'll be a good year next year. I can just sort of feel it, that next year I'm going to try and put more effort in, try and post more, take less breaks, even though breaks are needed sometimes. I'm just hoping next year will be really good compared to this one, because this year was kind of shitty for my channel. No one knows what the future will entail, but I'm hoping next year will be far better. So, and now I've got Vanguard, of course, I can make plenty of good content on that, hopefully, which I'm planning maybe tutorials, but I might only just do like the odd class setup once in a while. I probably won't do full-on tutorials unless I really want to cover a topic, like tutorial-wise. I feel like I'll still stick with montages. I know that I'll probably be playing a lot of Vanguard next year, so hopefully you guys look forward to that. But yeah, thank you to everyone who participated in the Q&A. Thank you once again for 100 subscribers, and even though we hit it 3 or 4 months ago, I know. But yeah, that was the video. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you all have had a very nice Christmas. I forgot to say that actually earlier on. I hope everyone's had a very lovely Christmas and you've been enjoying your Christmas holidays, because I sure have myself, and I really don't want to go back to school in January. So fingers crossed there's another lockdown so I can make more content. But yeah, anyways, be sure to smash the like button on this video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and hit the bell icon right next to it so you never miss a single video I post. But yeah, so that's just about it. Thank you everyone so much for watching once again, and if this is the last video of the year, then I guess I'll see you all in 2022. Goodbye.